Hi everyone, welcome back. I have a slightly different video for you today. I'm going through my experience and everything I've learned for the last 2 months when I've done the PyTorch Scholarship Challenge from Facebook. So let me get straight to it. I applied for the PyTorch Challenge back in October. I did it through the Udacity.com website. I think I found initially the link for the application on Twitter. They have lots of updates on Udacity.com. They have like a specific page for scholarships and they update this quite often. So my recommendation would be to sign up and, keep up to date on it. So on the main page, it tells you a little bit about who sponsors the challenge. So it's sponsored by Facebook AI and it's run via Udacity.com. There's an apply now button. And then as you go on, you can see that you have more details, how to learn with PyTorch and Facebook, and then information about the challenge course. So it works out in 2 phases. Phase 1, which is what I was part of, there was 10,000 seats, Intro to Deep Learning with PyTorch. It's an introductory course with hands-on exercises. It's a really great 2-month learning experience. It has a recommended commitment of 5 to 10 hours of study per week. Phase 2 is for the top performers of the challenge course who will earn a nano degree program, and there are 300 seats in phase 2. If you keep scrolling, it tells you how to apply. The application deadline for this year's one, last year into this year, was the October the 23rd. They let you know on October 30th if you had got through to phase 1 or not. So the enrollment is obviously closed now because the challenge is over. Well, at least phase 1 is over. But I applied to this back in November and I was successful and got through to phase 1, which was absolutely amazing. So just to switch over here, you can see this was the email that I got when I submitted my application, and you could check your status using the link, and as it says here, you'll know by October 30th if you were accepted or not. And on October 30th, I got the good news that congratulations, I've been accepted. I looked at the information then and I started planning my personal calendar to try and find the time to fit in these hours. I knew that the Christmas period was coming so that I would have a good piece of time then. The program began on the 9th of November 2018. They also sent you some more emails coming up to the challenge date. So on the actual start date of the challenge, it gives you some course tips and how to start, how to get to your classroom, some of the community channels to interact with and to log into. Also, it tells you about the orientation webinars and how you can access more information about the overall course. So now let's have a look at the classroom. So this is my classroom for the course. As you can see, I've completed all the requirements for part 1. I went through all of the core curriculum content and also completed the lab. I did this over 2 months between November 9th and January 9th. Each of the lesson tickets expand. As you expand them, you can also view the lesson. So if you was to click on a lesson and view it, here I'm in lesson 2, Introduction to Neural Networks. On the left hand side, all of the different videos and content that you would have to go through to be able to complete this lesson. This consists of not only videos and documentation but also quizzes along the way, and there's also coding challenges built into these different lessons, which is amazing. It really helps you stay on track and it's really useful to apply the information that you've just learned straight off the mark. There was a lot of really interesting stuff that I looked over: convolutional neural networks, style transfer, recurrent neural networks, introduction to PyTorch, introduction to neural networks, like a lot of baseline core knowledge to do with neural networks, and then also a lot of like applied techniques and methods using PyTorch. The final challenge project, it tells you about the data that they've provided for you, how to access this data, and then if you go to the lab, it gives you more information on how you can upload your trained model in order to complete the final challenge. So as you can see that my challenge here has been completed. On the last day of the PyTorch challenge, you get an email from the organisers of it, which explains then the end of the course and then the further announcements as to if you got through to phase 2 or not, if you did get to phase 2, the start time and duration. For me to try and find the time to work on this challenge amongst working full-time and writing at my PhD and all the other things that I'm doing, I would either work late in the evening after work and after I've eaten dinner, or especially on weekends try and work first thing in the morning. But it was absolutely worthwhile putting in that effort and really finding the time. I did have to be tight with my schedule, but overall I really did learn a lot during this 2-month period. Some of the people who I met through the Slack group was so nice, and I really do hope that we'll stay in touch in the future. It's always good when you're programming or in academia to build a strong network of like-minded people, and that is one thing that this PyTorch challenge absolutely allowed me to do. Drop a comment below if you've either done the PyTorch challenge or a different kind of challenge, or if you're thinking of doing one. Subscribe to my channel to find more videos on how I'm finishing my PhD and study and learning techniques.